Big cheers from the floor yesterday. The papers this morning mixed, but I suspect you expected that. However, what about the rest of us? What about the voters? Do you feel you gave enough detail for us to make up our minds about you as a Prime Minister?
Well, I did my best. I put a speech out there together which was trying to explain something about the philosophy of our party, the philosophy that I believe is the right one for the way politics are conducted, and some of our policy ideas. But clearly we are developing our policy ideas. John McDonnell laid out a lot of his economic thinking on Monday, and you obviously heard some of the things on transport, and we'll be having policies on education and many other issues that are so crucial to the people of this country. But clearly it's a developing process.
So I think, you see, what people might have been expecting was something specific on... You're very clear about challenging austerity, but not clear how you were going to balance that with dealing with managing the deficit. Does that mean basically putting taxes up? I'm not sure people were clear, really, about how you were going to handle that.
Well, I think we can make ourselves extremely clear on that. The way we reduce the deficit and improve the economic opportunities of everybody in this country is by developing and expanding our economy. So we invest to grow rather than cut. And what the Conservatives are doing is cutting the benefits for the poorest, cutting the tax rates for those that are better off through the reduction in inheritance tax and cut in corporation tax. What we're saying is we have to invest our economy, particularly manufacturing economy, and crucial infrastructure such as new rail systems. These things are important because they are often the basis of economic growth, and that's roughly the way we see it going forward.
One of the things people might have noticed yesterday is that at certain points in the speech, the shadow cabinet was not applauding, and particularly on the fact that there is a big division, isn't there, between your view on whether we renew our nuclear deterrent. You don't want to. Many of the shadow cabinet disagree with you. We understand around 10% of Labour MPs voted for you as leader. You sort of rally the activists, but isn't your major problem as leader that you have a divided party behind you?
No, it's not a divided party. I received 60% of the votes of all party members and supporters. It's the biggest mandate any leader has ever been given in the Labour Party, and I respect that mandate and I respect the people that voted for me. Yes, there are some Labour MPs, maybe more than some, who do not agree with me on my belief that we should not be renewing our nuclear fleet, the Trident system. We should instead be investing that money in high technology engineering and protecting jobs, but we should also fulfill our obligations under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty to take steps towards disarmament. That is a debate that the party will be having, and a debate where I'll put my points of view forward. There's nothing dishonest in having this open debate, and that's exactly what we're having. It's a respectful debate. I listen very carefully what others say, and I hope they'll listen to me.
Okay. And another important issue on the international stage, of course, the issue of Syria. We understand that's going to be debated today at the party conference. A majority of people in the country want to see more action taken against ISIS in Syria. Again, this is something that you're at odds with many of the people in the party over. When you've got important issues like whether we have nuclear weapons and whether we're going to tackle the brutes of ISIS, it seems extraordinary that you as leader are not in touch with many of the people in your party on these crucial issues.
There are people in the party who have differing views, but I think what we're all united on is that ISIL's behaviour, its actions and its brutality are totally appalling. We all want to see a political solution to what's going on in the area. I welcome the fact the UN have got involved. I welcome the fact that Barack Obama and President Putin went to New York to have that discussion, and the possibility that there will be some kind of political progress in the whole area, because there has to be an end to the fighting. But there also has to be a cutting off of the funds and the arms that ISIL are using. There has to be a ceasefire amongst the other forces within Syria. Maybe some progress has been made on that. You don't solve every problem necessarily by going in and bombing. Basically, all wars have to end with a political solution.
Indeed, but I suppose it's getting to the point of making the political solution there seems to be disagreement on. I think a lot of people admire and think is rather lovely the fact that you want this consensus consensus. But at the end of the day, they also need a leader who can lead, and they also want to vote for a Prime Minister that can take decisions. So if it comes to it, that 90% of MPs, Labour MPs, don't agree with you, will you go with them or will you go against them?
That's a totally hypothetical question, if I may say so. We are having this discussion now. We're listening to what is going on. We hope there's going to be some political progress in New York. We hope there's going to be some agreement reached between Russia, the United States, the European Union, and of course, and crucially, the neighbouring countries. And what's improved is that at least Iran has now been brought into the equation rather than frozen out of the equation as it was 2 years ago when the Geneva II talks collapsed, mainly because Iran was not involved in them. There has to be a solution that has to involve Iran. It doesn't mean one approves of the human rights record of Iran any more than the human rights record of many other places, but there has to be a solution that involves them.
Are you aware that no matter who wins this, the party looks like it's imploded?
Well, the party certainly stands at a crossroads today. It does. This is a big moment for the Labour Party, a big decision in terms of which way do we go from here.